All right, we're back talking about fingerstyle technique. Right hand, P-I-M-A-M-I, is going to be the pattern we're going to use today, and rest stroke with the thumb. P-I-M-A-M-I. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. You'll notice that my I, M, and A are always moving toward the palm of my hand underneath my thumb. They are not colliding with the thumb. If you're colliding with the thumb, you adjust your hand position, right? You don't want to be in a hand position like this and then end up, with your, index finger colliding with your thumb, because that's just not going to work. All right. Now, we're wanting to take this just a little bit further than just P-I-M-A-M-I with the thumb on the same root. We're going to move through strings 6, 5, 4, 5, 6, 5, 4, 5, like so. All right. Now, that seems to be fairly straightforward, but let's put our mind to what is actually taking place and learn what there is to learn here. We're starting to talk about independence of the thumb. In other words, the thumb is traveling on its own, doing its own thing. And there are some important things to learn there in terms of what is actually happening. So let's just tear this down a little bit. So I start with the rest stroke on thumb. I can also do a replant, do a rest stroke here, and then I cannot rest stroke here, or else I'm going to strike the third string. So in this case, I move away from the string, then replant back to 5. Right? So I pass string 3, so I don't, collide with it, cut the string off, and stop it from ringing. Okay, that's pretty straightforward, and you can work on that. There's lots to do there already, but this is what I want to reflect on today. Is when we talk about independent thumb, what are we actually talking about? I'll tell you what we're talking about. If we say the thumb is independent, what we're saying is it has nothing to do with the other 3 fingers. That means when I make a thumb stroke, it's not going to displace my fingers of I, M, and A. So if I do this and move and make a thumb stroke, I don't want to, just because I'm closing in closer to my other fingers, I don't want my other fingers to be displaced from my home position. So I don't want my other fingers to maintain the same spacing as I had here. In other words, when I make a thumb stroke, my I, M, and A are not affected at all. They don't move when my thumb moves. How does that happen? I'll show you how it happens. Here's your thumb joint, right? And this is what you should be able to do. You'll notice that when I'm moving my thumb, my fingers are not at all being affected whatsoever, right? So it's not if I move my thumb, we shouldn't be getting any of this. In other words, you should be able to isolate your thumb joint by thinking of your thumb joint. Completely isolate that thumb joint, so it in fact is independent, and it doesn't move your I, M, and A at all. And so on, right? Now, that's a huge deal right there. Getting this whole idea of the isolated thumb joint happening that in turn does not at all impact on the movement of your I, M, and A fingers. Once you feel sort of comfortable with this, why don't we pick 3 chords, and let's say G. And then C, because I have to move to the root on the 5th string. And then to D, because I have to move to the root on the 4th string. Maybe back to C, because I have to do the same thing. So let's just do that again. I'll show you where we're going. Maybe 4 times on each chord. Back down C. Any tempo you like, right? But the important thing is that even if you're adding chords, you're still not changing up those basic techniques that we're, talking about with the I and M and A forming a fist, playing into the palm of the hand, not colliding with the thumb having a nice solid rest stroke. So you're always sort of listening to that independence of the thumb, you're listening to the independence of the thumb. When I'm saying, what I meant there is you're listening for the independence of the bass notes, which have to do with the independence of the thumb, right? You can hear that this is going to be more and more important as we move on to moving bass lines where we really want to hear the independent line. And in order to develop an independent line, you have to have an independent thumb. In order to develop an independent thumb, you have to be aware of the independence of that thumb joint and learn to isolate that thumb joint from fingers I, M, and A.